Yo, what's going on, snipers, and welcome back to our Vancouver Reign Draft Glory franchise mode here in MLB The Show 23. So I am recording this the day after you guys saw the last episode, so I apologize if I didn't get to any comments that eventually come through. But anyways, in last episode we started up the year 10 season. Yes, we're on year 10 already, and we got some pretty good results, and we also did some scouting, and hopefully we found some good prospects for this draft that we could end up grabbing at the 5th overall pick. But so far, I've been really impressed with how this team has done this season. We're 39-46, which we're on pace for definitely our best season yet, which would be in the 70 win range, which is kind of awesome to see, considering year number 2, we only had 19 wins as a team, and 8 years later, we're almost winning 70 games and almost back to like a 500 season, which is pretty crazy. So, also, I've been really impressed with some of the numbers across our lineup, like Anton Trevino, for example, is batting a 311 right now, which is great. Pip is doing basically what he normally does average-wise, but he's got home runs, he's got some RBIs. Sixto is on a pace for an insane season with a 331 average at this point. Ozzy's over 300, so there's like 3 guys above 300, which is awesome to see. Pinero's kind of taking a little bit of a step back, but that's okay. Steiner's been solid at times. Pineda's not really great batting average-wise, but he's still putting up numbers. Cuero's been doing really good this year, not that he really matters too much because we didn't even draft this guy. And then Bill O'Donnell's definitely been the weak link on this team in terms of offense. We go to pitching rotation-wise, and Garth Howe has been doing what he normally does. Gary's been okay, I'd say. He hasn't been terrible, but he hasn't been good either. So he's kind of in the mid-ground between that. Darren Poles has been not very good. Bobby Hyde hasn't been very good. But Brian Morris has been kind of a surprising player. His numbers don't look really that good right there, but if you go to, say, his FIP, for example, you can see that he is below 4, which means that he is just a bit better than average, because anything above 4 is kind of like, or 4 to like 5 is kind of like average. Anything above 5 is really below average, I think. So I think he's in a really good spot in terms of how he's been doing so far this season. Hyde and Poles definitely have been struggling, but they are going to stay in the MLB just because they are younger prospects, and we need to have some guys fill out a roster. Eventually, we'll get some other guys in from the system to come up, but yeah, I'm liking the way our team has been performing up to this point this season. Because if we even go to like the standings, for example, you can see right now we are one of the best offensive teams in the AL West, but the defense is the main problem, basically, or the runs allowed are. We've scored 401 runs, but we've given up 403. So once we get our pitching rotation to being a little bit better in terms of like guys like Osuna getting in, I think we're going to be a good team. And then hopefully by then is when we are a playoff team. But anyways, before we get into getting to the draft, which hopefully it's a good draft for us again, like I said, we do have the 5th overall pick. I do have a couple comments to go over. So the first couple are from Nick Bacher Barons OC. The first one says, Nick's top 6 candidates for pick number 5. Our first pick, he says, if we have the chance, take Ned Thompson, or else we should go with Almont, who's a starting pitcher, Won Yon Kim, who's also a starting pitcher, Medeiros, who's a right fielder, which we obviously do need some right fielders. He also says Cabral, and then he also says George Morales. So we'll see if we're able to get any of those 6 guys that he listed. I hope that we could get Ned Thompson, because we do need a third baseman eventually for the future, because Schneider hasn't really been that type of guy. Pip has been okay, but still, it'd be nice to get another third baseman in. And also, Nick says some suggestions for the rest of the search in terms of the last week of scouting. He says, Nick's Research Corporation suggestions. He says Pinto, second base, Webb, starting pitcher, and Angelis, who's a relief pitcher. Crazy actually, or Crazy G, my bad again, replied to him and said, I agree completely with Nick, all except I would scout out Ned Thompson the last week instead of Angelis to see if he's 99 potential. So we will probably change out Angelis here for Ned Thompson again, even though we've scouted him out fully. We want to see if he's actually going to be that franchise type player, so or franchise altering player. So we will add him to that list again. And I will keep him in the 3rd spot, I guess, just because we already have guys in the 2nd and 1st. So, actually, wait a sec. Which scout is it that is in the 3rd priority? Oh, yeah, this guy's not good at positional players. So, I am going to change Webb for Thompson. And Webb is going to go in this other spot. Just so we have the right scouts doing what. we'll change you to second priority, and Ned Thompson will be the third priority. There you go. That's all set up and ready to go. And then we also have a couple comments that Crazy G said himself. The first one says, put Gelman in the field instead of O'Donnell. He has better potential. So let's go ahead and do that because I didn't do that yet. But yeah, definitely that's something we should be looking at because, yeah, Ollie Gelman's definitely technically the better of the two options. So we will swap the two of them around. So Gelman in. And actually, I didn't want to change teams. I wanted to go to my other lineups. Ollie Gelman should be in instead of O'Donnell. I don't know why O'Donnell's getting thrown in instead, but oh well. I think I had O'Donnell originally on the bench, but I must have went not best lines, but best lines, so to speak, you know. Looks like both of them are in the lineup there, though. Yeah, both of them are in the lineup there, so we'll leave that the same. And that's fine, too. Okay, perfect. That's good to go. And then the final thing from Crazy G says, send down Hyde and just bring back Montero since we don't really care about his development. I think right now I'm going to hold on to Hyde in the MLB just because he's eventually going to get called up regardless. And then, yeah, Montero will probably come up in once we get to the September call-ups. And then the final comment is from Michael Dose. He says, I think the team could use a power-hitting right fielder, and I agree with that. I definitely think we could use a right fielder. Power-hitting-wise, we definitely need eventually maybe a good power hitter, but right now this team's more of a contact-hitting team. But if we could find a good right fielder in like future rounds, that'd be nice. We do have some prospects like Hernandez and Rodriguez, but obviously it'd be good to add like a guy that's actually a good overall at the gate eventually. So there is that. And let's get into this draft and see if we're able to get the best pick possible. I really hope Ned Thompson falls to us at 5. Once again, we're going to scout out an extra week because we are closing in on the draft. And hopefully we find out a decent amount about Ned Thompson if he's actually that good of a player. And hopefully, like I said, he falls to us. Damn, we just won 4 or 5 games. That is pretty nice to see. Okay, so let's add a couple guys to our list. So obviously oh, baby. You guys are right. You guys are right. Ned Thompson will have a 99 potential likely or an 84 plus potential, but he's likely that guy. We scouted him out for the extra week. He's looking a lot better than projected. He was originally looking like a 95. We scouted him for 1 extra week. He looks insane. I really hope he falls to 5 because, man, wouldn't that be nice. Please, Ned, fall to 5. And yeah, those future numbers look a lot better now. So we will add him to our draft queue. Also, we'll add Almont. We'll just basically add the players that was getting mentioned by Nick. Medeiros, he said. Medeiros is a right fielder, I think it was said. I don't know all these positions. Yeah, Medeiros is a right fielder. And then the other guys, I don't remember their positions. We're looking for Cabral. He'd probably be here early on. Where is the rest of these dudes? I should just go by scouted. There you go. That would make it easier. Because then actually you could see where they are. Because we have scouted these guys before, I think. Let me actually take a look at what he said. Didn't he say their positions? No, he didn't. Cabral and Morales. I might have to just wait and see if they're there. Oh, there's Cabral. He's a pitcher. Not a surprise. And then Morales, is he a pitcher too? No, he's not. I really hope that that guy falls, please. Because if he does, maybe we got ourselves our best player that we have ever drafted. I mean, we have drafted some really good players still, though, but... Oh, there's Morales. He's also right field, which is another thing we need. So let's add those guys to our list. And let's get into this draft. And I really hope that we get that player at number 5. Because if we end up not getting him, it's going to kind of suck. Because we technically should have had, I think, one of the best odds for the first overall pick this year. But we fell back to 5 again like last year. But number 5 is last year where we got Osuna. So we could add actually some other players to this list potentially too that we scouted out. But I'm going to just leave this for now, I think. Yeah, let's leave it for now. Let's get into this draft, and hopefully these 4 teams end up being stupid and not taking the man we want, Ned Thompson. I don't know if there's a chance he falls to 5, because he was projected to be the first prospect by the MLB as well. So I really hope somehow these guys are just dumb and they don't take him. Please don't take Ned. Don't take Ned. We do have some fail-safe options, but still Ned would be great. Oh, Cabral went first. So there's one guy off the board. So unfortunately, we can't get Giancarlo Cabral. So there he goes to the Cubs. We'll see if that ends up being a good pick or not. Come on, please. Take somebody else. Take somebody else. Please, please. Yeah, that's somebody else. That's not him. I don't know who that is. Julio Reina, who we didn't scout out that well. Actually, we did scout out, but he doesn't look that good. So that might be a bad pick there for the Giants. Please, please. We're getting close. Please take somebody else. Take somebody else. Please. Please. Okay, they did take somebody else. We're very close now. We're just down to one team left as Angel Guillen goes. That's a bit of a reach, but who knows? Maybe might be a good player. First base. So. Okay, please, Phillies. Please, please don't take him. Take Almont or something. Take Almont. Take Won Young Kim. Whatever you want other than him. Oh, you bitch. You bitch, Philly. You bitch. Oh. You bitch. Philadelphia. Oh, he's from Pennsylvania, too. Of course. Of course they're going to take him because he's from Pennsylvania. God damn it. If we would have just had one higher up of a pick, we could have grabbed maybe one of the best players ever in this franchise mode. But likely that guy's going to be absolutely insane. And we just barely miss out on him because of the draft lottery. Well, I guess Johnny Almont is going to be our pick. Because we do need more pitchers, because why not? We could always go for a right fielder in option 2. This guy actually looks like he's going to be really solid in the future. But it's also a bit of a risk. Based on our scouts, actually, we had Almont is the second best player. Yeah, I think we got to go still with Almont. Technically, we do need a right fielder, but... Wait, let me see the blue stats. So there's 3 blue stats. A lot of blue stats with Medeiros, potentially, but he's also a risk because he's 22 in that sense. He actually is going to be a really good overall out of the gate. With maybe high potential, but maybe not. Yeah, I think the safest option is to go with Johnny here. So let's go with Johnny Almont. Get ourselves another pitcher into the rotation for the future. Who knows, maybe him, Osuna, and Howe are going to be like an insane trio. But there you go. Johnny Almont with the 5th selection. That close to getting Ned Thompson. I'm never going to let that down. If we have to play the Phillies... sometime, like, I don't know if they're actually in the same division as us or not. I think they aren't. It'd be interesting to play them in, like, the World Series. But yeah, Ned Thompson's going to be probably a beast, and none of those guys left on our list are there. Let's go to look through this, see if there's anybody that's fully scouted out. Oh, man. I should have probably added more players to our list here, but there's Blake Smith, who might be a project, but also might be good, another starting pitcher. Let me actually take a look at each position. So, so there's Blake Smith. We don't have really anything else scouted out that well. Yeah, I think we might just have to go with Blake Smith here. And then we might take Sato as well. They're only 35% scouted. These other guys aren't looking super great, though. Like Dan Keith. This guy might be really good, though. We have had 100% scouted him. You know what? We're going to take Carlos Suarez. I forgot about this dude. He's going to have a good potential. He might be a project, but he's an outfielder that we could use as a right fielder at some point. I think we're going to take Suarez here. Actually, he was not supposed to get drafted even, so we might be able to get him next round. I'm going to add him to my draft queue for next round and take somebody else here instead. Let's go with Blake Smith. Might be a risk there, but we'll take Blake Smith. Get ourselves another pitcher. Let's enter our next pick, and Suarez is still there, so I think I'm going to take Suarez now. Because other teams might have him on their radar, and he's got a really good potential, likely. He might end up being just a very long-term project, but still, I'm going to take him. Because we did look at him, and he looks like he's going to be pretty good, so hopefully that's the right call there at number 69. Memes. Competitive round balance B pick here. For 18-year-olds, there's not really much. So we might have to go with a 23-year-old. I'd rather go on the players that we've scouted out personally than just kind of blind firing in a sense. But we might have to blind fire at some stage. There's a third baseman. Since we lost out on Thompson, find another third baseman in Sammy Pugh. Doesn't look like necessarily the best player, but he might have good potential. So, you know, we're going to take a chance on him. If Ned Thompson's going to be good, that might mean other third basemen are good in the draft. So, we'll take a chance with him. Let's him to our next pick at 107. Honestly, we might go with this guy because he's 69% scouted and he looks like he's going to have a good potential, maybe a good overall. We're going to take a chance with Cho. I know we're technically drafting a lot of pitchers the last few years, but I think it's going to help us out in the long run because right now our offense doesn't seem to need as much help, but the rest of these players are decent. Flutie, 86 maybe. He might be decent to take, to be honest, but he might not be either. We do need a second baseman, so maybe I just want to take some more second basemen, just add more depth to our roster because right now we have Trevino, who's good. We also have Fletcher Hoffman, who's not good, and then there's nothing really else. So I'm going to take a chance with Pedro Lugo here, just to give us some more depth at second base, hopefully. He might not be good, he might be decent, but still got to take a chance sometimes. Flutie is still there, which has me concerned that he's not that good of an overall, but based on our scout, he might be good, so let's take a chance with Flutie here. And I think that's our draft right there. Yep, that is our draft. Damn it, Philly, though. Why did you have to take Thompson? Why did you have to take Thompson? We're that close to potentially getting a franchise player. Watch, he's going to be an insane player out of the draft. He's going to be probably like a 75, my guess, and he's going to have 99 potential. That's my guess right now. He could easily be an 80 overall and have 99 potential like some of them are. I am really scared to see how good that guy is because literally we were that close to getting him because the top 3 teams might have made some really bad mistakes. So there's that. Let's see who made the home run derby and the all-star game for us. It's at Yankee Stadium apparently. So home run derby wise we didn't get anybody, but those are the representatives just in case you guys want to take a look at that. Let's take a look at the all-star game, see who made it for our team. I would assume Sixto made it, but I'm not 100% sure on who else did. Who made the all-star game? So in terms of pitching, Dennis Lake makes it as a closer, and Howe did not make the all-star game this year. Kind of a surprise, but maybe it's lack of wins, I don't know. But there is the pitching-wise. Sixto did make it, so that's good to see. Sixto is in the all-star game. His average dropped off a little bit, but still in a 327. So he makes the all-star game. Anybody else? No, I think that is it. So just Sixto and Lake make the all-star game this year. That's okay. That is okay. Okay, so we should be almost soon to be able to sign our draft players yet. Yeah, soon. I think it's at the end of this week, but I'll just go one day at a time just in case. I really hope we made the right call with our starting pitcher. Hey, there's another win. Our team is all of a sudden right at almost 500. We're not the worst team in our division anymore. You love to see it. One more day, and now we can sign our picks. Okay, so sign draft picks. Let's see what we could do here. So the main one we need to sign is Almont. We have how much money? Not really a whole lot, but let me see if I could sign him already for a little bit less. Hey, look at that. He accepts at 51%. That's actually great because now the rest of these players are going to be probably pretty easy. We start off with these high interest guys. That's also probably why it's good that we drafted them, as they have high interest. Blake Smith declines to 61, which is kind of weird. Suarez should be able to get him. He rejects as well. Come on, boys. You got to accept these contracts. 75 for Cho, and he accepts. Nice. We'll add Pugh there because he needs to be scouted out a lot more. Or he needs more interest, I should say. He might not end up being able to sign with us. See if we could sign Flutie. He accepts at 69% interest. Nice. Lugo might be able to accept already. And he does. And yeah, it's just down to the rest of these guys. So let's get those guys to get that interest up there a little bit more. but we're almost got everybody signed already, which is great. We got already our 5th overall picks signed too, which is very good because obviously those guys take priority. Damn, our team is doing so well. What the heck? We're literally 2 games back of 500 all of a sudden. Like, literally since we started recording this episode, we won, like, a majority of our games, I think. Like, this month in general, we've only lost 1 game, and we're already almost at the halfway point of the month. Wow. Our team is cruising. We might not make the playoffs, but we might just literally finish right at 500 almost if we continue on this pace. Who knows, maybe we'll fall off randomly, but I love to see that. Love to see it. Hey, Blake Smith accepts, which means we're going to be able to get everybody signed up. Suevez does as well. We just need Pugh. He's going to be probably the toughest one to sign. So we got to get that interest up there as much as possible. So let's go multiple days on this front so he gets that interest up there as much as possible. Let's go there. Wow, we're still winning games. No. Yeah, we literally just lost 1 game, but we literally have won so much games lately. Like, we're 50 and 50. How are we 500? I don't know. Maybe the defense is getting better and the pitching is too, or maybe we're just scoring our way there. That's insane. So Pua is looking decent so far, but he does need interest still to be higher, which is good. Or not really good, but still. Our team is doing good. We're going to definitely take a look at player stats at this episode as well, because this team is definitely doing well. We're now below 500 because we've just lost 3 straight games, of course. But it is actually, no, it's not against a good team. I was going to say it's against a good team, but let's see if we can get Pew. Let's go max money. Hey, 95% interest. He'll accept that. Yeah, there you go. So Sammy Pugh is on board. We have got everybody signed up, which is great. We didn't lose a player in the draft. If I did, I'd have to sign them in the offseason. But let's find out what we end up getting in this draft. Trevino's been injured for a day or two. Let's go. Let's go auto on that. It might change up our roster quite a bit, but still. But we got everybody signed. That's great. And our team is definitely starting to lose a decent amount of games right now, but we're also trying to win some games here at the end of the month. So there we go. 54 and 58, and we should be able to find out our prospects now, I think. If I'm not mistaken. Let's see if we made the right call with Johnny Almont at number 5. Actually, we got to wait a day. It always seems like I always go like a day too early. One more day. Hey, we win that game 7-3. So 55 and 58. Love to see it. Did we make the right call with Almont at number 5? Yes, we did. He only has B potential, which kind of sucks, but a 69 overall at 18 is great. He's going to be a solid player for us, probably in that like number 3 spot. I could see him in the future behind Howe and Osuna. The good thing is he's also a left-handed thrower too, which obviously there's not really a lot of left-handed pitchers. Osuna is a left-handed pitcher, but we usually have a lot of right-handers, so it's good to add another left-hander to potentially our rotation in the future. I do like that pick. Obviously the potential, like I said, a little bit lower than I expected, but still decent. He does have good bunting too, so that's kind of neat to have. Let's see our next player in the draft. Blake Smith. Okay, he does also have B potential, so that at least is good. 59 at 18. Might end up like a Bobby Hyde scenario, but still, regardless, like we're adding so much good pitchers, and eventually we're gonna have like a full-on roster with good pitchers, and some of these guys could even be relievers. So I do really like that quite a bit. Let's take a look at those stats as well. Good bunting as well. Nice. Our next pick up, Suevez. Look at that. A potential, 56 at 19. Let's go. Suevez was a great steal at 69th overall, I think. He obviously needs some work on a lot of his stats, but he looks like he's going to be good speed-wise and maybe stealing-wise if he could get that up there. But we could definitely develop this guy into being a good player for us. He is also a left-hander, which is kind of nice. Considering I feel like a lot of people are right-handers. Actually, maybe not in terms of batting. I don't even know. But there you go. We got an A potential, so that's a good win. Next pick, Sammy Pugh, B potential, so that's good. But a 45 at 19 is pretty damn low. But, I mean, at least he has potential, and he's a third baseman. So we're kind of adding to a little bit more depth behind Schneider and Pip. So I do like that a bit. But obviously the overall is quite low. Our next pick, Vincent Cho, 56, B potential at 21. A little bit of a low overall for a 21-year-old, but B potential. I will take it. Adding more solid pitchers to our maybe future bullpen, or like I said, using them as starters. Who knows? So there's Cho. And then there's Pedro Lugo, who's not really that great. We just took a random shot on him. He actually has okay contact hitting, so we might honestly try and develop him in terms of contact hitting wise, but he's got good speed and stealing. He has okay potential, that C potential, I guess. It's not a terrible potential. Because if he was a D, then it would suck, but yeah, Pedro Lugo might be okay. It does give us another second baseman option, though, behind Trevino. And then, yeah, Hoffman will probably make his way out eventually. And then Michael Flutie, C potential as well, 56 at 19. And maybe becomes more of a AAA pitcher, or like I said, more of a reliever. But there is Flutie. Solid stamina. His hits per 9 is terrible. So yeah, he'd probably be better used as a reliever. Like a long reliever, if we could get that hits per 9 up there. I don't really know. His home runs a 9 at least is good. At least right out of the gate. So there's Flutie. And there is our draft. Yeah, I'd say that's a good draft. Suarez has 98 potential, so that was a home run of a pick for sure. Almont's got 89 potential, so almost A potential, so that's good. Blake Smith 83, Pugh 84, Cho 86, and then the other two, But still, not a bad draft. Not a bad draft for us. Obviously, we've had a lot worse than this in the past, so I like it. Now the question is, how good though is like Ned Thompson and all that type of thing? Because I feel like we literally just missed out on the best player in this franchise mode. Let's see. So Seattle, they didn't really do too well. They got Calderon though, and also Freddie Bauer. We didn't really look for a good catcher in this draft, but there wasn't probably really one, my guess. Some have good potential, but they're probably long shots. DJ Webb, we were looking at this guy, I think, a little bit. We had him scouted. He's going to be an okay pitcher, but not anything insane. He might be insane, who knows. 86 potential doesn't really matter. If you had like 90 potential, that'd be really good though. Really bad draft for the Braves in terms of potential. Like their best potential player was Zamora. Then we head to Miami. They got Sam Gosselin, a really good shortstop prospect. I kind of wish I would have seen this guy because we do need a shortstop at some stage. Obviously, he's kind of a low overall right now, but still, that's a solid player. Defined at the shortstop position. Let's see, the Mets. They got Juarez. Other than that, not really a good draft for them. Oh, no. No. There's Ned. Ned is, yep, a franchise player. The first one we've seen in this series. The Philadelphia Phillies just slapped me in the face. I'm never going to let them down about this. I'm going to hate on the Phillies for the rest of the series. 82 overall at 18, 99 potential. Oh my goodness. Of course he has to be from Pennsylvania too. It actually kind of is a good storybook ending for them in that sense, but man, that sucks. We were literally that close to getting the guy we potentially need to change this franchise around. I mean, we're doing okay still without him, but this guy's going to be a monster. His contact hitting is good. His power hitting is good. His vision is solid already out of the gate. Discipline. Like, he's pretty much good at everything. Like, his only weakness really is stealing, but you don't really need to be a good stealer on base. Oh, my goodness. I'm never going to let Phillies down after that because we wanted him, and we almost got him. But the top three teams, they literally just completely dropped the ball. They should have found out that this guy was number 1. And we were that close to getting him at number 5, but he went at 4. Damn it. And they also got a good shortstop, too. Or a solid shortstop. He's a 67 at 18, 81 potential. Really good contact hitter. But would have been nice to have a good shortstop in this draft for us, but oh well. They also got a good right fielder, too. So they had a great draft, the Phillies. Probably the best draft because Ned Thompson's insane. Washington. They got Ricky Harris, who's okay, but nothing really great. There is Cabral, who went to the Cubs. 83 potential. Yeah, I'm glad I didn't take him. 64 overall at 21. That would have been a kind of a miss for a 5th overall pick. Orozco is okay, I guess. Luis Seriano for the Reds is solid. He's actually pretty good, actually, for a second base. I kind of wish we had him in a sense because, like I said, we do need a second base eventually other than Trevino, too. Because eventually, who knows if Trevino wants to leave the team or not. And Riley Pepper. What a name. He's 22, but 95 potential. 48 overall at 22. Probably not going to make it, but he does have insane potential, so who knows what's in store for that guy. But what a name, Riley Pepper. Let's see. The Brewers, who had a good draft last year, didn't do so good this year. So there's their draft. The Pirates, Esteban Lorenzo, really good closer. So that's a good pick for them there. Other than that, kind of a mid-draft, or terrible draft, I should say. The Cardinals, they got Hilliard, who's solid. They also got Willie Quiros, who's a good steal. 52 at 20 is a little bit low, but 92 potential. Will Medeiros, who we were looking at. We were looking at this guy potentially as one of our best picks. He's a 72 at 22, which is great, good, but 79 potential only. He's going to be useful. Like, if we were to upgrade other players and other teams, he would be probably one of those guys because he's got good contact and power, but his overall is pretty low. That's the only thing. So there's that. Chris Thomas is okay. Acevedo in Colorado, solid. But yeah, it looks like most teams did not have a good draft. Only a few teams. 95 potential in Miguel Mitre. We didn't even have this guy scouted, but 46 at 19. A little bit low, but 95 potential. The Giants, who got Reyna at number 3, I'd like to say. Yeah, I think he went right before Thompson. He's absolutely terrible. I mean, he's not terrible, but 56 at 21. 71 potential. They took this guy instead of going for a 99 franchise guy. Oof. They are not going to like that pick at all. And then John Kidd, solid potential. Then we go to the Orioles. Guillen, solid. Wasn't he also? Yeah, he was also in the top 5, I think. So that one's okay, but it's still not worth better than the 99 potential guy. Like, everybody looks terrible compared to him. Mitchell Myers, also a really good shortstop prospect. Damn, there was some good shortstops in this draft. Wish I would have known. Won Young Ko, who you were looking at as well as a potential pick. He's solid. 64 overall, 87 potential. There's also Dave Green, 88 potential. And that's pretty much it for the Red Sox. Morales, who we were looking at, is a potential pick. Also is not really that great. I mean, he might be still a solid contact hitter, but he's not anything insane. Like, he's got okay potential. Then 89 potential on this Dudley Smith guy. That's a solid relief pitcher prospect for the Yankees. Todd Davis, Spencer Sato, and Derek Smith. Okay picks. The Blue Jays finally got a good player in the draft. They haven't had some good drafts. Juan Bonilla, 54 overall at 18, 94 potential. That would have been a good third baseman to get. We were looking for another good third baseman. Our third baseman's nothing that great, but Bonilla is really good. Anything else? Nothing there for the White Sox at all. Guardians, they got Tom who's not good. And they also got Hughesby. Those guys are okay, but they're nothing insane. And then the Tigers, they got Willie Feliz. Solid. 66 out of 18 is actually pretty nice. Good contact hitting as well. And then Art Gary is a great steal. Low overall, but great steal. James Levi or Levy goes to the Royals. He's pretty solid, actually. 67 out of 18 as a catcher. 85 potential. I would have liked something like that, I think. Juan Jimenez, good steal there, kind of, but low overall at 22. Chip Pinto is terrible. It's funny because we did want to scout out him. Our scout said he was a lot better than he was. Yikes. 53 overall, D potential, 65. I'm glad that we didn't take him. He goes to the Twins. Andy Ramos. And then there's also Fletcher Ryan, who's a good steal as well at shortstop. Ken Blackwell, solid player. Not anything insane, though. And then finally the Angels, and I think that's it. Not that great. So yeah, there's our draft. We're better than mostly every team in the draft, except for I'd say obviously the Phillies won this draft because they got the insane player that we've never seen before in Ned Thompson. Shaking my head so much about this. We were literally that close to getting this guy, but he goes one spot above. So there's that. Final thing, let's take a look at our updated players' stats in our MLB team, and then that'll be it for this episode. And obviously, we'll simulate the rest of the episode, or the rest of the season in next episode. But Garth Howe still doing really well. He's the 99 potential now, which is funny as heck. ERA and WHIP are right around the same as last year, a little bit above in ERA wise, but yeah, great season still for Garth. Gary, he's winning games, but his numbers are getting worse. It looks like. Darren Pulls might be improving. Let me take a look at that FIP for fun. We're not going to go super in-depth with player stats, but Bobby Hyde's still really struggling, but he's developing really well. He's up to a 78 now. He's gone up by 2 points in this episode alone. And then is Brian Moore still on his same path that he was on before? Has he gotten worse? He's gotten much worse. Damn, that sucks. That sucks. So our pitching has definitely fallen off a little bit in terms of some players, but I mean our team is almost 500. Troy Bacon's been a solid reliever, somehow as a 69. Castillo has been good as well. Ken Roberts having a great year. He is a setup guy though. And then Dennis Lake has been an elite closer. Love to see it. In terms of our lineup, I want to take a look at these stats. So Trevino's still over 300, just barely though. Pip is at a 238, so some of these numbers are kind of going down a little bit, but that's okay. Sixto's down to a 319 from a 331, which kind of sucks, but still having a great year. Ozzy's down to a 292, so he's fallen off as well, but he's almost at another 100 RBIs, which is awesome. Home run count is not as high as last year for sure. Pinheiro is starting to pick it up, which is good because he was off to a little bit of a sluggish start. I'm pretty sure at least. Steiner is doing really well this year. Steiner is doing great as a DH. We also have Pineda, who's improving. Cuero's dropping a little bit, and Gelman is not doing too well. And then Buster Cross, and there's Schneider, Fletcher Hoffman, and Bill O'Donnell. I want to take a look at one last thing, and that's in the standings. We are still scoring more than we're allowing, but we're still the worst defensive team. But we're outscoring our problems, basically, is the main thing right now. If we go in terms of like standings around the entire league, though, like batting average wise, we are 19th. So actually, we're not doing too well in terms of batting average anymore. Like it definitely has dropped off a lot. We are still one of the best offensive teams in terms of runs, though, top 10. And yeah, we're up there in hits and all that type of thing, but likely our ERA and stuff is not that good. We're up there in triples. Home run wise, we are one of the worst. We're not the worst. So interesting stats nonetheless. But anyways, guys, that's going to do it for this episode of our Vancouver Rain Draft to Glory franchise mode. So in next episode, we'll simulate the rest of the season. We'll see how this team finishes off the year. Honestly, it might be right around this point where we're going to be like 500. But honestly, this team probably won't make the playoffs. But if they do make the playoffs, obviously we'll just eliminate the rest of the season in that next episode. But if we do not make the playoffs, which is more than likely, we'll have another full off season as well. And it should be interesting to see what this team is looking like going into next season. Because I think with the new draft additions and stuff like that as well, we're definitely going to have a good rotation in the future. It's just all about trying to keep this team as much together as possible as we become a good team. So, you guys think down below, and I'll see you guys next time.